So in this video, we're going to show how to write to an IO-Link device parameter using Productivity Suite from Automation Direct with a Automation Direct PLC and to a Balluff Black or Silverline master. This works for any type of the new Black and Silverline masters. So before we get into setting up the message, we need to find out some more information. For example, we're going to write to the user color of one of the Balluff smart lights. Some things we need to know is that the index number for the user color parameter is FC in hex. We're going to write to the sub-index value of 0. 0 allows us to write to all 3 bytes. If I wanted to write just to the green channel versus the red channel versus the blue channel, then I would change my sub-index to 1, 2, or 3 respectively. But by choosing a sub-index of 0, we're writing to all 3 bytes. And the length of the parameter is 3. So down here are some things I need to know. I need to know the index value low byte is this FC in hex. So that's a decimal value of 252. The index value high byte is 0. The sub-index that we're going to write to is 0. The parameter length is 3. And then I need to know which IO-Link port that IO-Link device is connected to. So for the Balluff masters being all 8-port masters, that'll be ports 1 through 8. One of those ports is where I'm connected to. Also, we're going to need to create 2 arrays. So in a write parameter situation, our input array is always going to be, the number of elements of the array will always be 5 bytes or 5 8-bit words. So byte 1, if successful, will be a value of 2 because 2 is the command. Any other values is an error. And then bytes 2 through 5 will be the actual error code, which can be found in the device's manual. We also need to create an output array when I do a write device parameter. So the number of elements of this array will be the parameter length plus 3. So again, I brought this over. So the parameter length is 3 bytes. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So what are the breakdown of those 6 bytes? Byte 1 will be that index value of decimal 252. Byte 2 will be the index value high byte 0. Byte 3 will be the sub-index value 0. Bytes 4, 5, and 6 will be the parameter value, byte 0, 1, and 2, which in this case will be the red channel, green channel, and blue channel, respectively. Where did I get these 3 values? Again, going back to the parameter, byte 0 is the red, byte 1 is the green, and byte 2 is the blue channel. So knowing all this, we can now jump to the adding the instruction. So within the Productivity Suite, I can grab this Ethernet IP explicit message instruction. I can drag it up and drop it on a rung. If I have multiple Ethernet IP devices set up in my project, I can choose which Ethernet IP device I'm going to write to. In this case, I've picked the Balluff master. Connection will stay unconnected message. The service will be generic. And the service ID will always be 50 in decimal. The class ID will always be 150 in decimal. You want to check the box for use attribute ID, and we're going to change that from a 3 to a 2. A 2 is a write command, where that 3 is a read command. And then the instance ID is the parameter on the IO-Link master. So in this case, we'll say that we're writing the IO-Link device, the Balluff Smart Light, is connected to port 5. There are some tags that we can utilize. Instead of making individual tags, we can check this structure box, and I'll just call this MSG structure. And all of these tags will start with this tag. Well, excuse me, there will be one tag called message structure, and inside of this will be all these elements. So you'll find a dot in progress, a dot complete, the dot success, etc. So to continue on, we have to make 2 arrays. So the input array, I'm going to enable the input. I'm going to click in this box and give it a tag. So we're going to call it message in array. or I'll just go ahead and put it input array. And if you remember, we just talked about that this input array needs to be 5 bytes or 5 8-bit integers. So I clicked into that field number of elements. I'm going to change this to the 8-bit unsigned one-dimensional array, and we'll make this 5 elements. We'll click OK. Notice this wasn't populated automatically, so we do have to put the 5 in there. On the output array, or the output side, we need to make another array tag. So we'll call this message output array. And if recall, that needed to be 6 elements, 6 8-bit integers. And we'll make that a 6. We'll click OK. I have to enter the 6. And this is the message setup. So with all of that being complete, I can click OK. And there are all my, it'll ask if we want to create all those tags. We'll click OK. And now that message is set up. Now the message has to see a toggle. So at some point, we'll have to add a contact out here to toggle the message. And then the last thing we have to do here before we toggle the message is we have to populate that output array. So I'm going to bring in a copy data instruction, and I'm going to put in that first value of 252, which is the FC in decimal. I'm going to put in a 0 and a 0 because that's going to be the low byte of the index number, high byte of the index number, and the subindex number. And if you remember, we created an array called message output array, and element 1 is going to be the index value high byte. And I am just going to copy and paste here. Remember, that was a 6-element array. So there are the 6 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as again from here, we need to have byte 1 holding that 252 for the index value low, byte 2 holding a 0 for the high byte of the index value, but a 0 for byte 3 for the subindex, and then we can put in a value for the red channel, green channel, and blue channel values. For this particular light, 0 is the lowest intensity, 255 would be the highest intensity for these channels. So depending on what color you want the user-defined color to be, I could maybe put in 150 for the red channel and maybe 0 for the green and 100 for the whatever that red, green, and blue. Red, green, and blue. And again, these are just arbitrary numbers I've picked out here, but those can be anything. And so these values are going to be the information that's sent out. So this is all you have to do to set up a write message instruction. Of course, I need the device connected to the master at port 5. We set that up. And now if I toggle the message instruction, it will send this value out. So we will be talking to the parameter FC and hex, or 252. We will be writing to all 3 parameters and sending these 3 values to those parameters. So that's all it takes to set that up. Thank you.